Patrol. I'm your host, Lisa Caslin, and today I am with Robbie Bhathal. He is a co-founder of an interesting new site and way of online booking called Suiteness. Welcome, Robbie.
Thank you so much.
So let's just talk a little bit about what Sweetness is, because this is very unusual, and it's kind of maybe bridging the gap between the very popular sharing culture and travel now with Airbnbs and Booking and all of that, and now hotels trying to maybe make a stake here to kind of offset some of the popularity that these
Yeah.
sites have. So talk about what Sweetness is and how it came about.
Yeah, so Sweetness is, in essence, it's a first kind of marketplace to allow consumers to book luxury suites or suites as a whole. We mainly deal with 4 and 5 star hotels. How the product came about is we originally had an idea of allowing people to book group travel a lot easier, to make the planning of travel easier. What we found is that that is a pretty tough case, and there's a lot of research involved in it, and it's really not a democracy, it's more of a dictatorship. And what people really want to base their entire trip around is the accommodation, the place where everyone gathers, the place where you sleep, the place where you sit together. And then there's this whole idea that you don't spend as much time in your room, but that's kind of a fallacy. You actually are starting to spend more time in your room while your family gets ready. So we got started with Sweetness. We had a couple hotels lined up, and then when we put up those suites, everyone forgot about everything else we were doing and just saying we want more of these rooms. And so we spent the last year and a half kind of creating first a beta product, and then really trying to build all the infrastructure to get the real-time pricing with all of our initial market is Vegas. So we have all 26 hotels in Vegas that are on the Strip, and a couple off Strip. We have access to about 10,000 suites in Vegas, and what we think about is, in travel, you almost have, in airlines you have, 8% of the travelers represent 30% of the business. In hotels, it's basically always been max occupancy 2, max occupancy 4. When you come down to hotel bookings, you always see on any of these online travel agencies, there's always 2 and 4. And it's because the hotels have kind of the infrastructure they've been built on is not really technologically advanced. And so you have players like Airbnb, VRBO, Villas.com, and all these sharing economy players coming and taking advantage of the thing that hotels don't have, is they don't have flexible assets. And so what we've been doing is we've been working with the hotels to bring in inventory that's never been online before. So we have a way to allow the hotels to have control of some of their penthouses and their bigger suites, which is almost like an RFP process, and almost the same as an Airbnb's request to book. And then the other side, we connect directly to the hotel's central reservation systems, so we get pricing in real time. And then the third thing that we do that we're actually launching this week, which is pretty good, what we consider the business class and the premium economy, is connecting rooms. So the great and the hard part is always that you have these 1 bedroom suites that are 1,500 square feet that are priced 2 times, 3 times a regular room, and a lot of consumers say, why do I pay higher? And then the penthouses are a little bit priced way above, but a lot of these suites and a lot of hotel rooms have adjacent rooms, and to really build out the schema and to be able to book it in real time is something that we've spent the last long time trying to do, and we've figured it out. And so now we'll be able to allow consumers to book multiple unit rooms together next to each other. So you're basically creating a home in a hotel.
Wow, that's very neat. So,
Yeah.
who is your target audience for this? I mean, are you looking at upscale clientele, or is this for a regular middle class person who just wants to have a really cool trip?
Yeah, no, that's a great question. I think it's, it is targeted a little bit more towards a higher end consumers, just because it was the inventory that we got first, and we wanted to make sure that we always about it. What we say, the best way to travel is through Sweetness. It's kind of, you don't have to worry about anything when you know the hotel's a 4 and 5 star. They've already been vetted, they've already been solidified. But so yes, so we do get a lot of international travelers, we do get a lot of higher end clientele. But you know what the other stuff is really the emotional buys, the anniversaries, the honeymoons, the family get-togethers, I mean, obviously in Vegas you have bachelor parties, but that actually is a small, like number 5 in our list. Most of our consumers are growing middle class from China, people coming in from the UK that want to experience the US in the right way, that want more space, and then a lot of the people are families. So if you have children, you know, you don't want to split 2 queens with the child, and you also don't want the ability to have your child down the hall. And so the ability to have your children next to you, but have a common living area. Families have been actually our biggest clientele. So yeah, middle class families that want to pay, you know, $100 more per person a night or $50 more per person a night, and then you can get that type of space that you need.
Mhm. So, give me an example of, you know, a really kind of luxe experience that we might not even know exists. And why is it up until this point that hotels were, you know, I guess holding back on these rooms? What is the specific reason for that?
Yeah, I think it's one is so I'll answer your second question first. It's
Okay.
one is brand safety. So it's always about, you don't want, a lot of the online travel sites now, Trivago's, Pricelines, Expedia's, Orbitz, are all about discounting, and you don't want your best assets in discounts. You don't ever see first class and business class tickets sitting in discount sites, and so they want to be able to control that. Second is, visibility to the customer. So a lot of the online travel agencies are more just transactional platforms, and so hotels would rather work with travel agents, which is still a very big industry. It's $100 billion in the U.S., and people still. A lot of our clients still go through travel agents, and actually a lot of our customers are travel agents that want to, rather than picking up a phone and calling every hotel, they just go through us. And so they want that ability to know who the customer is so they can cater to them. And so we're very transparent in that platform. And then the last thing is they want to be able to control, sometimes, someone might come who's a prince of, someone from Saudi Arabia who's a prince, or some high-end celebrity, and they want the room for a month. They also don't want their, $50,000 Voss to be, so the really high-end suites, they kind of keep off. It's because it's almost like an air of exclusivity. And what happens is it's kind of backfired a little bit, because what they do is they oversell the regular rooms and upgrade for free in hopes of getting retention, or hopes of getting loyalty, but it never really works out that way, because it's mostly the business traveler who is less loyal nowadays, because they're just much more about. And so those are kind of the reasons why they've kept them offline. And the other thing is just the middleware platforms. You have a property management system that's connected to a central reservation system, that's connected to a global distribution system, that's connected to an end platform, and then you end up having. How do you change that? So the max occupancy can be 6 or 8 in this hotel. It's hard for, it's an industry that's never been. I mean, it's never had to change, because they've always been the only thing out there.
Right.
And so those are the reasons why. And some of the experiences, and going to your experience question, when you pay up for it, it's little things that matter. So I'll give you an example. If you go to the Wynn and you stay in a regular room, and let's say it costs you $200 a night, and then you go to a tower suite and it costs you $400 a night, you're like, what's that additional
Right.
$200? Well, what you get is you get free breakfast for 2 people automatically. You get free dry cleaning up to 4 shirts. You get a private entrance. You get free. You get a private VIP manager to make sure that you're taken care of. And so it's kind of those added amenities and added benefits that really make consumers happy. And so if you're only going to do 3-4 trips a year, is that additional, yes, we provide a limo pickup, and so you don't have to worry about that. You've got your free breakfast, and it ends up being only $40-50 more expensive, and you get that space, that privacy. You get a little bit more. You get that special treatment, and that's what a vacation should be
And a
about.
memory.
And a memory, and that's, you hit the nail on the head. It's these connected experiences, these travel moments are what really build memories, and memories is what we're in the business for. Because yeah, you might spend a little bit more, but the memory you have will last forever.
Yeah, absolutely. Okay. So look into your crystal ball. Do you think, because at the end of the day, the hotels want to make money, right?
Yeah.
So Do you think at some point in the near future, assuming things continue to go well with your relationship with the hotels, that they may see an opportunity here to sell, you know, rooms that have sometimes otherwise gone unbooked at maybe a wholesale rate?
Yeah, I mean that's something that they probably would be willing to do, and they actually do it quite a bit. A lot of our customers, since we started with like a free membership site, we just the reason we do that is that we protect the hotel's asset. So one thing they hate is having something like a Trivago, so where you can scrape data, and if the hotel changes prices, the website doesn't change, and then you get rate not parity. I mean, in the end, the hotel has the best rates always, unless if you're booking offline. And so, yes, they do give us rates. They do give us sometimes better rates, and they give us discounted rates and wholesale rates, and they do that stuff. But our bookings are so far in advance because a consumer wants to plan it out. So if you're going with a family, you're usually planning 3 months in advance. It's not going to be a last minute hotel tonight, or I'm in town with a group of 6 people.
Yeah.
And so we do get wholesale rates, and the idea is eventually to get lower and lower rates. But what we've done ourselves is to kind of create a better rate by doing these connecting rooms. So if you got a suite that was maybe a little bit more, instead of getting 2 rooms, you get a suite plus a connector, you're only paying a little bit more than
Yeah.
2 rooms, and you get what you want to get.
Yeah.
And if you look at it, it's actually funny. If you look at Airbnb, they have all their supply data out there. So 80% of the inventory, 75% is usually like just shared economy, shared rooms, one bedrooms, and that's what I call experiential buying. I'm going for an experience. It's like a hostel. And then the other 25% is their larger things, and that's where they get most of their profitability. Same thing with the VRBO, and it's and every 2 people on their sites, you can see the average daily rates increasing, doubling. And so, when you have that plus the security deposit plus the fees you pay plus everything else, the risk associated with it, it's not risk free. I mean, I stay at Airbnb houses too, in smaller towns, just because it doesn't matter. But when you're in a big city, the hotels are perfectly placed. I mean, they're in the center, which you can't get anywhere else. And so, to answer your question, is yes, they're going to give us better rates. I think our system now allows consumers to get better rates, because you'll never get these kind of adjacent rooms unless if you call, or if you, and even then it's not really guaranteed.
Hmm.
Um, and so that we created a new category of inventory, kind of these virtual suites, is what we're really excited about, that are
Very,
priced in much more of a scalable way.
very cool. All right. So before we end, I just want to clarify. Currently, you are up and running in Las Vegas, very
Yes.
strong, and the plan for end of year, early 2016, is to move into which markets?
Yeah, so I always hate saying timing because you never know.
All right, we won't hold you
But
to it.
it will be most likely Miami, LA, New York, and London. And we've got about 65 hotel partners that are pretty much kind of, some of them are, I really can't say the names, even though they're
Yeah,
mostly on contract until we go live. But let's just say they're very, very good rooms. The interesting thing is the number one investment in hotels has been the higher end category, and it's also been the suite category. So hotels are actually, like the Palace in New York made 140 suites. A lot of these people are starting to reinvent their hotels and reinvesting into it to be much more family centric and much more kind of multi-unit centric. So
very,
as this happens, I see prices going down, and I also see us being able to bring prices down.
very cool, very cool. All right, well, this has been a great and interesting interview. Thank you so much, Robbie. We hope to have you on again sometime.
No, thank you so much, Lisa. Definitely will be. And check out Sweetness.
I will. Have a great day.
All right, you too. Bye.